Joining me now from Melbourne is citizen journalist and reporter at Rebel News, Avi Yemini. Avi, great to have you on the program. I've watched your work for many months with interest. You've really taken up this cause. I think there's a lot of support behind you. You want to unmask PRGuy 17. Take us through the legal processes that have got you where you are tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Peter. Look, it has been a huge task to begin with, only because Twitter is an international company with one office in Ireland and another in the United States. So at first we had to apply to the court to ask them if we can first serve them, and then finally we could serve them, and they had to get their lawyers. And until at the end, because of our Australian laws, once you go through the process, they consented to the orders quite quickly. Now, the orders were to release the IP logs, the name, the email, and we got all that. They complied early. But now we are, as expected, we are with a list of IP addresses, and successfully. The account tried to use VPNs most of the time successfully, but it turns out PRGuy is human after all and stuffed up at least 16 times. And now we're going to Telstra to uncover that account once and for all.
So by using VPNs, so people understand that at home, PRGuy had used sort of a circuitous loop to hide their identity, to mask their IPN addresses. But you're saying that their IP addresses, you're saying that the IP addresses, though there's been mistakes, there's enough information probably with Telstra that will tell you who they are. You're saying they are a natural person. When will you know?
Well, we already know it's a natural person. They used it in a fake email, an encrypted email, and a fake name. But the details that we have, it is guaranteed that we're going to uncover it. It's just a matter of time. Telstra, unlike with Twitter, is a much quicker, simpler process. In fact, Telstra has an entire team designated for these kind of court orders, and so I imagine in the next few weeks we'll have that. It obviously depends on the court filings and how quickly the court moves. So at this point, we have to give Telstra, and there's another Australian telecommunication company as well. We've got to give them a chance to do it without a court order, but most likely they're going to expect the court order. And so we will file that with the federal court, I expect, next week. And within a couple of weeks of that, I imagine a very similar settlement to Twitter. But the only difference here is that will give us the name and billing information, so the address of the person responsible for that account.
And look, the reason you're wanting all this information is that you argue you've been defamed by this Twitter user.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for people to know that it's okay to have a fake profile and even have a loud voice online. The difference here, the thing that people need to remember, though, that doesn't give you a free pass to avoid civil litigation or any sort of unlawful behaviour. And that's what's happening here. It is a tough task to take upon yourself to unmask, let alone take up a defamation case. But and that's what stops people. I know a lot of people that have been, defamed by that account or have been attacked and targeted by that account, but just can't afford to take up the fight because uncovering it is such a hard task. So it is important for people, and I think this is not a legal precedence. The only precedence here is for people like whoever's responsible for this PRGuy account, is for them to know that one day somebody will come and uncover you. So don't think that that's going to protect you if you're going to do any wrongdoing online.
Yeah, look, I am not on Twitter myself, but I do look at Twitter a lot. I use it for a news gathering service of a sorts. I think it's a very different beast than it started out 10 or so years ago. But I never cease to be amazed at how much left-wing hate there is, particularly if you're a conservative like me, put your head above the parapet. It's never about a position I take or a policy. It's physical. It's usually sexually violent. It's directed at me as a human being. It's not about anything I might hold as an opinion. It works that way for the left to the right, but I don't see that same level of hate going from the right-wing commentariat towards the left. Is this just a feature of Twitter, do you think? And why do we put up with it?
You're right. Listen, Peter, it is a left-wing cesspool. I kind of thrive in that environment. I enjoy it. I have heard rumours that you might be PR guy, so that's a possibility too. But you're right. You know, what's interesting, and I saw this in a comment, is PR guy has spent the last 2+ years defaming my character, often untrue. And even if you want to claim that that stuff is true, I saw an interesting comment from somebody on one of their posts where they were defaming me, where they said, you know what, you've repeated this 100 times, but at least we know who Avi Yemini is. How do we know that you're not whatever 10 times worse what you're claiming Avi Yemini is? And I think that's a valid point. It's interesting when somebody has such power in the political space and this political arena, and the narrative, controls the narrative, especially through COVID here. You know, put your face to it. Otherwise, stop attacking people's, character, and let's talk about the issues. And I'm always happy to do that, Peter.
I can assure you I am not PR guy. It would be the ultimate double agent game. Avi, good luck with your work. We'll stay across this and come back to you and see how you go. I am fascinated to see who it is. Thank you for your time, and all credit to you.